Welcome to our Chief Architect presentation. My name is Deborah Gray. I am the Chief Architect National Academic Sales Manager for Chief Architect Incorporated, located in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I've been doing this since 2006. Before that, I still own a company called Gray Technologies. It's located in Austin, Texas. And that is where I am located today. I've had the company for about 20 years, have been involved with sales training and tech support for various architectural and mechanical design CAM, CNC machines. I'm also a certified secondary instructor, certified in math and family and consumer sciences and several other different areas. So I'm particularly interested in showing teachers in various areas of career and technology how Chief Architect can be utilized. Some of the areas that we use Chief Architect in are in building and construction trades and drafting. And here's an example of what some of their documents might look like. We have two different files that we use in Chief Architect. One is the plan file, one is the layout file. We also use it in different areas in family and consumer sciences. You would think that it would just be used in interior design, but we have some very creative teachers that have used it in not only interior design, but in child development classes, restaurant design, culinary arts, event planning, various activities and events that they have in FCCLA. So let's take a look at some examples within the Family and Consumer Sciences Department, some examples of Chief Architect. In the interior design area, you can take lots of items, anything you find in a house, on a house, or outside of a house has already probably been created in Chief Architect. These three-dimensional objects that you see, they are brought in from Chief Architect's library. You can import those in using Chief Architect's features. These articles can also be found in other software programs and on the internet. Child development. Here's another example of a file you may create in a child development class. We have children's toys, we have curtains, we have furnishings, all kinds of books, all kinds of things for children's library items. And then in this learning center, we have some more furniture that you can see as an example. In restaurant design, culinary arts, you may want to design a restaurant. So here's the exterior of one restaurant. This is the interior of the same restaurant. You may have a student find a building in your town that's vacant currently, measure it out, and create a coffee shop with Chief Architect tools. So there are a lot of different ways you can use it in restaurant design as well. Event planning. Here we have some examples of something you might use in event planning. I know that's one of the FCCLA's competitions if you are involved with that. Landscaping and agriculture. One of the bonus items we have in this program is a full landscaping and architecture type program. We have thousands, over 7,000 different kinds of plants with a library, not really a library, it's an encyclopedia of plants that has the different attributes of the plants, their growth rate. You can actually see the plants growing at their own individual rates. Here's an example of the different three-dimensional trees and plants and the retaining walls, different things that you might see with a landscaping program. Cabinetry. Cabinetry is included in Chief Architect. You can create custom cabinets. You can create lots of things with the cabinetry tools. Here are several examples of what you might create. These are the cabinet tools. We have manufacturer cabinets. So you can pick the species, the type of wood, the stain, all kinds of things with it. They've used it in math classes. I actually had a class that I taught to secondary teachers who were teaching basic math, but they wanted a project, a central project, and then associated different math concepts with it. Theater Arts uses it. Set builders really appreciate a plan that includes dimensions and an accurate 3D representation of what it's supposed to look like when the set is built. So they can make it look very realistic and actually see their set design before they begin to design it. All right, we also use it in graphic arts, many other areas, even criminal justice. So if any of these areas you have your teachers that work in your school, maybe they would use it in these different areas. Criminal justice, they're using one of our layout files in 2-dimensional to show evidence in a crime scene. It's helpful for investigations, for analysis and courtroom exhibits. We also have virtual tours that you can create. You can create 2D views, 3D views, and virtual tours of any scene. So we have a lot of different areas that we're using Chief Architect in, and actually collaborating. We have teachers, for instance, in architecture that have collaborated with interior design classes so that their students can work together to create their specific part of the plans. We are able to create buildings up to 30 stories. We're marketed as a residential design program, but you can also do light commercial design. Up to 30 stories. We have lots of things in our libraries for businesses and different types of buildings. Here's an example of some of the buildings that have been created in Chief Architect. Here's a gym and sports medicine facility. These are just some examples of how you might use it. All of these items that you see have been created for Chief Architect's library, and you just drag and drop these items into the building spaces that you have created. Here's an example of tiny homes and container homes. You can design the interior of these. You can actually use the materials in our libraries to create the surfaces on these buildings. It shows a little bit about the landscaping functionality. Little garden over there, fences. All of this is created with the items that are in Chief Architect. You can also create any type of a staircase. We have a stair tool. It's very robust. You can create the stairs in a lot of different ways, and Chief Architect helps a lot with the functionality, with the function of staircase tools. Ceilings, we saw these a little bit while ago, but now if you take a look at the different ceilings, we have tray ceilings, coffered ceilings, curved barrel, cathedral, suspended, lots more different types of ceilings. Automatic framing tools, if you're in the housing part where you're actually designing the houses and you want to show the framing, we do that automatically. Once you've created the walls in either 2D or 3D, you can have it automatically frame the house. If you were to edit the house at all, the framing would automatically update. So that saves quite a bit of time. It also has automatic and manual roofing tools. The manual roofing tools take a little longer to develop a roof, but many of the roofs that you see here, all of these are created with automatic tools. So it takes very little time to create the different types of roofs here, or ceilings too. We also have a lot of functionality for green building. On the right, you're going to see the tools that you can drag and drop from the library. On the right-hand side, you're going to see an example house created. where it illustrates some of the green building ideas. For instance, we have this label so that it correlates with a list of the functionality. On number 1, on the roof, you'll see passive solar design, like these skylights and large south-facing windows. They reduce electrical lighting needs and help to heat the building in winter months. On the number 2 there is referring to the metal roofing, which is durable and long-lasting, energy efficient, and available in a variety of styles and colors. It's also recyclable, unlike some of its counterparts. Another thing you might notice is the number 8 is the rain collection barrels and cisterns. They recycle the gray water runoff from the roof that can be used for irrigation, and it drastically reduces water bills and conserves drinking water. Over to the right in the bottom corner, number 15 is xeriscaping or landscaping with native and drought-tolerant plants. It's functional, beautiful, and it reduces water consumption. So a fully functional landscaping package, once again, is an added bonus to the Chief Architect website, the Chief Architect software. Number 17 is the recyclable plastic, lumber, and wood composite decking. They're durable alternatives to natural wood. So you can see we have a lot of potential to work with green building, which is so important in today. And even on the inside, on the interior, this number 22 is recycled crushed glass. So number 21 is non-toxic paints. So there are a lot of things you could bring into your classroom with this green building idea. We also have financial tools. We have material lists that automatically, once you've created the different parts of the building, you can click a button for the materials list and it will give you all of the information about how many, the quantity and the cost, and you can add up the cost to create a total of what it's going to cost to build your structure. We have another tool to the right here called the loan calculator, and it's basically a tool for amortization. And it is a way to calculate the monthly payments or maybe the total cost of the house if you already have the monthly payment figure in mind. So you can use different parameters in here and figure out some of the things that you want to calculate. Another tool is schedules. If you're trying to create cabinet schedules, door schedules, electrical, fixtures, framing, furniture schedules, plant schedules, all kinds of schedules that are listed here, it automatically creates a table for you with maybe an elevation picture of what that window would look like or that door would look like, and all of the quantities. So this is a very handy tool, very quick to use, and make your drawings a lot more professional. Other tools available in Chief include a plan checker. This won't detect all of the mistakes that might be in the plan, but it does give you an idea of some things that you may need to improve on. The time tracker, this lists the starting and the ending times that a particular user has worked with Chief Architect on a particular plan. You may use this with students who are working in groups to kind of see the time that each of your students has spent on this group work. In the schedules materials list we've talked about, and we also have file formats for importing and exporting to and from 3D printers. A lot of you have 3D printers in your schools now, so it would be nice to be able to create these houses in your software and then use them on the 3D printer. We have a space planning assistant, which is another part of this presentation. I'll show you how to create a smaller house quickly and easily using what we call a space planning assistant. Renderings. Here are some renderings. We have several different types of renderings. This is often the key to visualizing your design. Chief Architect provides some of the most realistic 3D rendering technology that it builds into its design software. Sometimes you don't want such a photorealistic drawing for your clients, and you might want to focus on design concepts rather than materials. So there are 10 different rendering techniques, ranging from just a line drawing sketch to something that may look like watercolor rendering to fit your desired style. All of these interior designs can be exported as a 360-degree image or a virtual tour. So it looks like you're just walking through the house. Here are some examples, too, of the same house in using the different rendering techniques. Here is the interior of a house using the different interior rendering techniques. You can create scaled models. For instance, this top one is a framing model. We have a wall detail function where you just click on the wall that you want to create a scaled model of, and it prints out over in that third area, it prints out a wall detail so that you can maybe create a scaled framing model. So you print it and then you can lay it on the table and create using balsa wood and create that framing detail for each of the walls. You can also create scaled models from Chief Architect files using your 3D printers and your laser engravers. Library content. We saw some of this earlier. Here's another example. The one with the paint chips. We have Benjamin Moore, Sherwin-Williams, lots of different paint chips built into the program with their particular manufacturer numbers of the paint chips. So you can actually show someone exactly what the color of their rooms or the outside of their house will be. Here's some library content from our library collection. We can create Christmas decorations, Halloween, Thanksgiving, all kinds of different holidays with our library content. We have accessible design cabinets, different accessories that we can use from our library for accessible design. We talked about the landscaping earlier. You can create decks and porches with plants on it, like you see here. And these plants look very realistic. You can put furniture in there, create porches, create gazebos, all kinds of areas. Here's a house with a deck that was created in Chief Architect. It looks exactly like the drawing. The land, you can also take pictures of the land you're going to put your building on, and you'll have a two-dimensional image of the land, but your home would be three-dimensional. So that's an example of a house with a nice deck on it. You can also create panoramic views, a 360-degree view of the interior of your home. You can export those from within the Chief Architect software, and then customers can view, manage, and share those three-dimensional views. So it's a very nice walkthrough for you. And you can see more information on this on our website, www.chiefarchitect.com. We do have a lot of Chief Architect support and resources. We have user certification. With this user certification, it's an exam where the students can take it and it tests their knowledge of Chief Architect. We have two different versions. One of them is called the Certified Apprentice for Home Design. That's for the architecture students who go more deep deeply into the structure of the house. The Certified Apprentice Interior Design exam is for our interior design students. So it tests them on exactly what content they've been studying. There are 1-hour proctored multiple choice exams. It covers several different competency areas listed on this slide. And so you can, the teachers can take this at the beginning of the year, which I would recommend. Take it at the beginning of the year just to kind of see the format of the test and what types of questions, maybe how in-depth the test is, and kind of give you an idea of what you would want to cover during the year, which you will probably be covering all this information throughout the year with your projects. We also have resources listed on the website. This is on chiefarchitect.com. It has the tutorial guide. We have project videos that they can use. And the nice thing is that these videos and tutorial guides can be used in your classroom all year long. So they're basically building up to the certification. So that's a little bit about the certification. 2 exams, be sure to specify which one you want to take. This is on www.chiefarchitect.com under training. We also offer training classes. I offer online and on-site classes. During our situation this summer of 2020, we have kind of discontinued the on-site classes for now. We'll see what the future holds. But in the future, we hope to have more of these. I have in the past held these monthly at my office in Austin, and they are specifically for academic teachers, not a combination of interior designers and architects. It's for education only at the on-site classes in Austin. I also do on-site trainings at your school. Like I said, that's to be decided according to this pandemic. We have online classes though. So for currently, the online classes are very popular and they're very good. And several of them you can pause. You can take at any speed you want to go. You can just pause the class and get back to it the next day. We have also the software and support assurance is optional. This is if you want to keep upgrading every year. We have a program that you can do this at a very reasonable price. So this is optional. You can go several years without renewing. You may want to keep the same program. If your curriculum has been adapted to a certain version, then you may want to keep it for a few years. So the software and support assurance is described on our website as well. Curriculum is included. We have training videos and tutorials in an electronic format. You can also get reference manuals and a tutorial manual in a printed copy. So all of this information, you get the electronic with the program. The printed copies are an additional charge, but we have plenty of electronic format that comes with your program when you purchase that. We also have a huge samples gallery, and this is a collection of projects that you can use for inspiration or for maybe editing with their own ideas, and also step by step how to create different samples that you'll see on our gallery. Okay, so in response to the closing of schools and the number of students that have shifted to taking classes online or remotely, we are offering free student licenses through December 30th, 2020. We will reevaluate this during December and let you know what we've decided. But this is something new we've done starting in about March. We have taken our students that are using Chief Architect and given them free licenses so that they can continue to work remotely. We know this year that there will probably be a lot of students working remotely as well as in the classroom. We have classroom prices. The classroom prices are $95 per seat. And so if you have a class of, say, 25 students, your classroom set there on the campus would be just under $2,500. And the students would have free licenses at home as well. So we want to offer that to you. You would also have student curriculum and learning resources to be able to get started with Chief Architect at home. If that's where they're working remotely, then that would be very helpful for them to be able to use. So we want to let you know that is open, and it just depends on how your schools open in the fall. If they're taking this online classes, then they won't get behind because they'll have plenty of curriculum and the free software on their computers at home. Contact me to request the student application form and school pricing. The order forms are on my website at gray-tech.com, gray-tech.com. And any information you would like regarding Chief Architect software, you can probably find online or just email me or call me. So there's my information. You can give me a call and let me know what kind of information you'd like. I have a lot of projects I could send you some links to. Short projects, anywhere from a 30-minute project to several day project. So let me know, but just be reminded that we will take care of your students until December 30th. They can have a license to get started on with Chief Architect if your schools are working remotely at that time. Thank you for the opportunity to share Chief Architect home design with you, summer of 2020. Let me know if I can ever be of assistance. I look forward to meeting each of you one of these days. I was hoping I could be there this summer, but things have changed for all of us. Here's my information, my email, my phone number. I'm in Austin, Texas, and we can do Zoom meetings. We can, on Zoom, we can teach you a few things as far as the function of the program, just like being there in person. So let me know what I can do to work with you all. I'm going to create a part 2 Zoom that has the software where I'm creating a house and showing some time-lapse videos. So be sure and look up our part 2. Be sure and give me a call if there's anything I can ever do to help you with Chief Architect.